What happens before the Odyssey? The Trojan War explained. 3,000 years ago, one woman launched 1,000 ships. 10 years later, a city that had stood for generations burned to ash. But the real story, the moment Nolan's film actually begins, doesn't start with that fire. It starts right here, in the aftermath, where that war finally ended and a much longer nightmare began. Miss this part, and you'll never understand why Odysseus, when we meet him, is so broken, so tired, so utterly desperate to get home. You'll wonder why a hero seems so haunted, why the sea itself seems to hate him, because before the journey there was the war, and the war changed everything about the man who survived it. I'm the Real Myth, where we break down the legends and the movies against the real history behind them. Today, what actually happened before the Odyssey even begins, the entire Trojan War compressed into the next few minutes. Stick around to the end, because we finish on a detail about that famous wooden horse that almost nobody knows, and it changes how you see the whole story. It all starts, of all places, at a wedding. Every god and goddess is invited to the celebration, everyone except a single figure. Eris, the goddess of discord and strife. Furious at being left out, she plots her revenge. She tosses a single golden apple onto the banquet table, and inscribed on it are just 2 words, "For the fairest." Instantly, 3 of the most powerful goddesses each claim the apple as rightfully theirs, and the argument threatens to tear the gathering apart. To settle it, they hand the impossible choice to a mortal, a young prince of Troy named Paris. Each goddess tries to bribe him, and Paris chooses Aphrodite, the goddess of love, because she has promised him the most beautiful woman in the entire world. There's just one problem, and it's a big one. That woman, Helen, is already married. She is the wife of Menelaus, the powerful king of Sparta, and you can already feel the disaster coming. Paris takes Helen back with him to Troy, an act of theft that the Greeks see as an unforgivable insult. Menelaus is consumed with fury, and he turns to his brother, the most powerful king in all of Greece, Agamemnon. And here's what makes this personal for so many. Nearly every king in Greece is bound by an old oath. They had all once sworn to protect Helen and her marriage, no matter what. So one by one, they're pulled into the war. And here is where our man finally enters the stage. Odysseus, the clever king of the small island of Ithaca. But unlike the others, Odysseus doesn't want any part of this fight. He has a newborn son and a wife he loves deeply, Penelope, and a peaceful kingdom to run. He even fakes madness to try to escape being drafted into the army. It doesn't work. His bluff is called. And so he's forced to set sail for Troy, leaving his family behind. He won't see his home again for 20 long years. When the Greeks arrive, they hit a wall. Literally. Troy's massive stone walls are impenetrable, said to have been built by the gods themselves. For 10 agonizing years, the Greek army besieges the city, camped on the beaches, but they cannot break through. Their greatest warrior, the near-invincible Achilles, fights legendary duels that are still remembered today, but even he can't end the stalemate. The war grinds on and on. Thousands upon thousands of men die on both sides for a conflict that started over a single marriage. Morale collapses. Both armies are exhausted, bled dry, trapped in a war that seems like it will never end. And then, just when all hope of victory seems lost, Odysseus, the clever one, the man who thinks his way out of problems, comes up with an idea. It's the most famous trick in all of human history, and it will end the war in a single night. Odysseus has a plan built on deception. He orders the Greeks to build a giant hollow horse out of wood. Enormous, beautiful, impossible to ignore. Then the entire Greek army pretends to give up. They burn their camps, board their ships, and sail away over the horizon, leaving the great wooden horse behind on the empty beach as what looks like a parting gift, an offering to the gods. The Trojans, exhausted from a decade of war, can hardly believe it. They celebrate wildly and haul the enormous horse through their gates and into the heart of the city as a trophy of their victory. But hidden inside that hollow horse are Odysseus and a group of his best, most elite soldiers holding their breath in the dark. Night falls. The city sleeps, drunk on celebration. The soldiers slip out, silent as shadows, and throw open the city gates, and the Greek army, which had only sailed just out of sight, floods back in. Troy burns to the ground in a single night. Odysseus's cunning has finally won the war. But that very same victory is about to become his curse. Here's what most people forget. After the victory, in the chaos and the triumph, the Greeks grow arrogant. Instead of humbly thanking the gods for their win, they boast, they desecrate temples, they behave as though they did it all alone, by their own strength. And in the process, they commit acts that deeply enrage one god in particular, Poseidon, the mighty god of the sea. This is the crucial part, the piece that explains everything that follows. Odysseus's journey home will take not weeks, not months, but 10 more brutal years, as long as the war itself. And that's not bad luck, and it's not because home is far away. Ithaca is only a few weeks' sail from Troy. It's a punishment, a sentence handed down by an angry god who controls the very sea Odysseus has to cross to reach his family. Every storm, every wreck, every lost man on that journey traces back to this moment of Greek pride. So when Nolan's film opens, it opens right here, on that cursed, endless road home, with a hero who has already survived one nightmare only to be dropped into another, even longer one. And here's the detail almost nobody knows. That brilliant wooden horse, the trick that ended the greatest war of the ancient world, may not have been entirely Odysseus's own idea. In some versions of the myth, it's said that the goddess Athena herself whispered the plan into his mind, which means the cleverest scheme in human history might really have been a god's design all along, with Odysseus as the instrument. So what monsters, what gods, what impossible choices will Odysseus face on that long road home? We cover every single one of them in the next video. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And be honest, would you have pulled that horse inside the city? Tell me in the comments.